boy, do I have a loadout for you guys today. So this is a build that was recommended by a viewer on chat. How'd that happen? He might be typing down below. Thank you to him for recommending this. This combines lefty and righty and the Dirge song Blackout Boom build. So let me talk about what I just said. So the Dirge song Boom build was a video I made a while ago. That was where another viewer told me that this explosion on the black metal weapons is impacted heavily by hero ability damage, which meant, in a weird twist of math being what it is, you could use a hero that has nothing to do with ARs or SMGs at all. A ninja in the lead was boosting this Black Metal 6 perk to do millions of damage. And it is true, that is ridiculous. And I even contacted my friend who runs Fortnite DB and was like, hey bud, can you like compile a list of hero ability damage multipliers so I can be a nerd? And he was like, sure. So thanks to him, this website exists where you can actually see all of the heroes and all of the different tiers for the highest hero ability damage. And in this section, we found Flash AC. You can use that to reload instantly with Chaos Agent, and he's only in that second tier. He's not quite the highest damage, but he's in that second tier, and that is an insane bonus. That led to this video, which is literally not clickbait, titled The Strongest Loadout I Have Ever Seen, and I mean it. That build is nuts. But today we're going a little bit of a different route. While this might not be the strongest loadout I've ever seen, it's insanely fun, and it features Raven. I featured him in a recent video. You can see it on screen where I was using him to blow stuff up in the 160s. Lefty and righty is insanely strong. I think we should all know this. If you don't know it, there you go. Free information. It is super, super good. And you might realize why I brought up Flash AC. Raven is in the exact same category. So if we use Raven and the Dirge song, we can reload to trigger an explosion that will do 2 million damage to every single target in a 0.75 tile radius. And we can use that as an SMG with Where's Lefty to lower the cooldown of our lefty and righty ability. So we can be constantly switching between the explosive powerhouse that is Raven in the lead, and then when we're on cooldown, switch to the other explosive powerhouse that is the Dirge song. It is a super, super fun combo, and I was having so much fun using this loadout on stream that I just had to make a video on it right away. So obviously we have Raven in the lead. That's the whole point. Mine is supercharged. That does up the hero ability damage, and it does impact that boom. That's highly recommended. For the team perk, we're using Happy Holidays. That's just to get the Raven cooldown as low as possible. Then we've got Where's Lefty, so that every single kill from the Dirge song reduces the cooldown as mentioned. And then Noir. This is the one, it's the one team perk where you can kind of swap this out for whatever you want. I kind of want to extend lefty and righty. If you want to take more advantage of how good the Dirge song can be, you can put something else in support here. Note that the hero ability damage and the black metal explosion is not really classed as weapon damage, even though it can crit. It's really complicated, so you don't really want to put like a weapon damage hero in here. Like Ramirez in support, buffing it by 17% won't really do nearly as much as you think. So I think 10 extra seconds of lefty and righty is perfectly fine. Battle beat is great just to shoot faster, and that will actually shoot faster, make the ability do more damage, and that faster fire rate will impact the ability while also giving it more damage. It's a great bonus to have. And then these first two are what I mentioned earlier, where First Shot Rio guarantees that the first 2 shots of the Dirge song will crit, which is super nice. And then of course Assault crit damage will make sure that those crits do a lot. Like I said, that does impact the explosion. I don't really know why that impacts the explosion, but other stuff doesn't. It's a really weird thing. We can't figure out the formula, but that's what I'm using. And then that's also why I'm using a crit rating perk on the Dirge song. So first and foremost, we need reload. That is 100% just to prime this 6 perk. It would do more damage with that 80% bonus damage to missing health, but then we'd be reloading super slow. You want the reload perk on this. That's a better way to go. We're running this fire because it is a nature storm right now, so that makes total sense. And then double crit damage because the explosion can crit. And then crit rating is kind of an interesting part because damage would be good, but it's not nearly as helpful as it sounds. And by using crit rating, I can get this up to a 38% crit chance, which helps a lot. And I know my face cam is covering it. We have a 390% crit damage on this build, so that is super, super nice. It's going to do a ton of damage when we don't have lefty and righty up. So let's hop in game and just enjoy the carnage. All right, first group of zombies here. This is basically how it goes. So lefty and righty, in my opinion, is the main DPS of this build, but ironically, that does kind of do less than the actual Dirge song. It's also going to be really hard to show this off because, as you can see, most enemies are not going to survive. You can see even a fairly large crowd of enemies like this just kind of die, like 2, 3 shots, 4, and they're all gone. So it's kind of hard to show stuff off. I'm going to try and find an encampment or something. Okay, not quite an encampment, but a big group of zombies. You can see very easy to get the cooldown back. You can just reduce the cooldown 1 second per kill. I am standing in acid pools, so I'm hoping I can stay alive. It looks like I barely made it. Lefty and righty just cleans everything up. Now you can see battle beat is active. We're doing more damage, shooting faster, dying faster, and it's so much carnage. You know it's a fun loadout when as a content creator I groan because the encampment is too small, but you know what? It's what I got. So here we go. Take out the nurses, one shot the Mist monster. It's so... Oh yeah, Ben's war cry. I record these on stream as mentioned. Twitch link down below if you ever want to be a part of these recordings, but like one-shotting the Mist monster incredibly unceremoniously. It's just dead. It's just dead. I'm gonna pick up that loot. It looks like my teammates are informing me of another encampment, so let's go check it out. Oh yes, thank you guys. All right, so again, 30-second cooldown barely matters. We just target that, go for the nurses. It doesn't really matter because we one-shot everything, so the nurses aren't really gonna survive. It looks like we can use the Dirge song to kill this encampment to get back the cooldown of the lefty and righty, and then we can move on to that encampment down there. Oh yeah, I see that. Okay, so it's going to be a little tricky because the animals are definitely distracting. I'm not here to rant about animals. I know you guys in the comments are going to do that for me, but it's a little annoying. It's a little annoying. All right, I got to pick up the rewards because I'm always looting, even if I'm recording a video. So let's try this. Let's try this. Let's shoot that just to prime it. Then we're going to pop a war cry because we can. And this is actually an excellent showcase. So this is something I encountered in the game that I played before recording. And that's that these encampments, these bubbles, are really, really bad for the black metal weapons. I've called it the strongest loadout I've ever seen, and I meant it. But honestly, when you go up against a shielder, or if your aim isn't very good and you go up against a riot husky, you kind of just have to walk away. There's really not much recourse. But lefty and righty, as demonstrated, just cuts right through that. And the Dirge Song and the Blackout AR could just kind of walk up to a target and one-shot him if you get inside of it. My teammates are training these guys away. Ooh, can I just snipe? Oh, out of range. But honestly, we just catch up to them, kill them, everything's dead. And that's it. That's 2 encampments knocked out like it's nothing. I am going to grab those rewards. I promise you, it's like holding in a sneeze for me, but I want to go kill this Smasher. 2 million damage. I love it. All right. All right. Here's a Smasher. That's 1, and he's gone. Yeah. If my first shot would have hit, it would have crit and killed him right away, but it's so easy to kill everything. This build is amazing. Okay, as promised, definitely got to pick that loot up. Not gonna forget it. So this is what I meant earlier, where we have a Smasher right here, and as much as I want to pull out lefty and righty, it is faster to just do that. It's so amazing. We have lefty and righty as an ability and Raven as our commander, and yet the Dirge Song is kind of our main DPS. Like, what is this build? All right, we got a basic defense here. When I use builds this strong and when a teammate is running boom base, which is boosting my crit chance, by the way, if anybody wants to recreate this build, I will be critting more because of that. Thank you, teammates. We got basic tunnels over there. When I'm using a build this strong, I don't always trap that heavily. So let's do what I said, basically. We're starting with lefty and righty. That's what I want to be our main powerhouse damage, and it's insane. That's that's to be expected. The riot huskies are a bit tricky at this distance. It looks like we don't even have that many crazy mist monsters, but this is just Fortnite ASMR. This is just satisfying to watch. Very enjoyable. Noir is kind of showing his worth here as well by extending that timer, and then it goes away as it does. That's expected. Let's head over here because I saw that Smasher. Look at that damage. Look at that damage. Like, when I was first recommended this build, I thought, oh no, Raven in the lead, but that extra hero ability damage is nope. Don't want to be a bad teammate. Ah! And then Aewol-ri's going to put in some editor note about me always being a bad teammate. Yeah, I'm self-dissing. You can't do it now, all right? But look at that. Easy. As soon as I fix my mistake, get a few kills, lefty and righty's back. How much damage does it do to a Smasher? I'm kind of curious. I don't have battle beat ready. I don't want him to kill me while I'm shooting it. It's still pretty good. It's still pretty good. Like, it's not killing as fast as the pistol. This is definitely just a fun build. But that's honestly kind of a lot. I love it. And I say this is a fun build because it's silliness. Like, the pistol's doing so much damage, it feels wrong to even be wasting time with the with the Raven part of this build, but I just want to switch between them. I want to try my best, and that brings me back, that death brings me back to the beginning of this video when I said I kind of want to put coconuts in this build. Not just because I'm a coconut fanboy, but like, I would love the idea of being able to purposefully heal myself for when I use the lefty and righty part of this build, because the health is so low all the time. That's the whole part of these builds. That's why the Crow's Nest version of this exists. I recommended the strongest load I've ever seen video, but the Crow's Nest is a follow-up to that, where I found a strategy, basically, to just box yourself in. And if you can put half walls around you, you don't dash off the side with that build. Obviously, in this case, we're not exactly fighting lefty and righty, so it's a little bit trickier. I don't want to just stand on top of campfires, because that would constantly heal me and take away a lot of the damage of the Dirge song. But I need to find some way to heal. So maybe there's an area where I can put campfires down when I'm using lefty and righty. I don't know. Lefty and righty has kind of a huge damage drop off, and the explosion on this does not. So that's why I can hit an enemy from wherever is in range of the Dirge song, and then the explosion will just carry it from there. So that's kind of why I haven't been worried about that. Thank you for the Ben's Warcry. So I'm going to put down 2 of these, pop the Warcry. You know what? I'm just going to put that away earlier. I'm going to be a good teammate. Yeah, I wanted to use the rest of that ability. Should have popped the Warcry, but I wanted to make sure my teammates were alive, and this is tricky. There are a lot of enemies here. Ironically, this is... So, I queued this mission to be easier. We had queued Deliver the Bomb before this, and I was just being lazy testing out the build, and we ended up failing. And that's largely, I think, because of Death Bomb. There was exploding Death Bomb on every enemy. It was a huge pain. And so, ironically, to be easier, I queued a Cat 4. I figured a Category 4 would give us... this was, the specific mission on the day was more familiar or more forgiving modifiers. So it was actually easier to queue this. So yeah, and I figured a Cat 4 would give us a lot more enemies to shoot at, a longer defense, and just overall make a better video. So I stand by my choice. I thought it was funny that of all missions, the Cat 4 was the easy option. But yeah. So with all these targets here, I am getting a lot of group kills. This is super satisfying. Like right up here, we got a slow field, and if the enemy hadn't cleared, or teammate hadn't cleared that out, well, I guess he is the enemy when we're fighting for kills. Then I would have gotten that. But okay, I'm gonna remember the Warcry this time, and then be out of energy. Okay, now we're good. Now we're good. All right, the enemies are dead there too. Okay, this build is so satisfying. Honestly, if you're somebody who's concerned about durability, and if you're somebody who never liked the Flash AC build, because I'm trying to sell this, so like to somebody who never liked the Flash AC build because you're always dashing around and you're getting yourself killed, which I understand. I think re-aiming every single time you phase shift is something that even I don't enjoy doing with that build. If you're somebody who didn't like that and you wanted something a little easier and more, okay, I want to say more ammo efficient, but something that's so amazing about that Blackout AR build is the fact that you are only shooting 2 medium bullets. You can go an entire mission without even breaking the weapon. So it's already very ammo efficient. But in this build, you are half the time not even using a weapon. You're just using your ability, which is super easy, fairly inconvenient. And I don't know. I don't know if this build will appeal to a lot of people. I personally find this very enjoyable. I think this is super cool, and I really appreciate the viewer telling me about this. If you guys have any fun modifications to this build or anything you generally want to recommend, definitely comment down below, because I do read my comments and I do love suggestions. Like the Dirge song video was a suggestion from a chat viewer. The Flash AC and Chaos Agent combo was a suggestion from a viewer. Like, I am not somebody who knows everything, and I highly I get highly encouraged from people in my comments leaving awesome suggestions. So yeah, let me know if you guys think of a fun way to run things. I even made a whole video on Loadout versus Loadout and was it Swamp Knight, because people had suggested them as alternatives. That didn't necessarily work out. Those weren't exactly improvements to the build, but I still tried it out, and that's what counts. So you can see my pistol is doing more damage. Okay. We do more damage based on missing health, but when you're getting trailed by a mist monster or mini boss, you kind of have to play it safe. You can see even without all my missing health, this is an insane amount of damage. Again, glass cannon, but an insane amount of damage nevertheless. My teammates are being super useful, by the way. This was, fun fact, Demon Gamer's, okay, last game was his first ever 160. I believe he's a power level 123, which is comparatively low compared to the usual teammates I have in my videos, but we failed the last game, and I'm like, oh no, I don't want you to fail your first ever 160. So that's also why we queued the Cat 4 here, because I wanted to give him a mission that he can win and not be failing his first mission. So yeah, I was feeling good about that, and he's been an awesome teammate so far. Gave me some loot before recording as well, which I don't ask for, but I appreciate. These videos are expensive, and as a content creator who crafts and recycles far more weapons than a normal player should or probably does, I go through a lot of materials, and as much as I don't love accepting handouts, I respect the fact that if I were to farm as much as it took for me to fund the things I make my videos on, if I farmed on stream, it'd be a lot less gameplay and a lot more just me with an Outlander punching stuff. So when a viewer can help me out, I really appreciate it, because, yeah. Again, I'm not asking for anything, but it's nice when it happens, so, yeah. Man, it's weird to be, like, charging up my ability only to do less than the weapon I was charging up my ability with. This is like, this irony has gotten me several points in this video already, and I'm bringing it up again. Like, I'm getting ready to use the big guns to pull out my lefty and righty, only to then do less damage than I was doing before it. It feels so wrong, but I don't care. As long as the target I'm looking at ceases to exist moments later, I'm down. You know what? I'm not even worried about it, because I'm having a great time. This build is so fun, and I really, like I said, couldn't wait to bring it to you guys. It's a little ironic saying that, because regulars on my channel might know that I schedule videos in advance. So I'm being excited and recording this right away, but this is probably being uploaded like a month after it's being recorded. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. It's all good. And yeah, I don't think I want to queue this mission again. I just want to do this as a nice short video to showcase an amazing loadout. If you guys enjoyed, subscribe, you know, Twitch link down below if you ever want to be a part of these live recordings. I do record pretty much every one of these on Twitch, and then I catch up on chat after I'm finished recording. This has been super fun. I appreciate you hanging out, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Also, don't tell anybody, but dying that many times in a mission made me feel really insecure about my playstyle. I need to practice with this build a lot. I think it's going to take a bit of work to get the hang of it. And then